Hey, what's up everybody? It's your mortgage expert, Brian McCauley here. So you're a buyer in Dallas, Texas, and you're trying to figure out which market is better for you. The one that had 3% interest rates or the one that has 6% interest rates? Stick around. I'm going to show you which one's better for you. So listen, the housing market clearly has cooled off in the buyer's favor. That's a big win. I'm very happy about that because me as a mortgage advisor, I usually represent the buyers that are getting home loans, and I am finally excited that some of these qualified and great families and buyers are now able to get their hands on a property. The downside is interest rates are around 6 to 6.5%, so that's got some folks scared. What I want to do today is I want to talk a little bit about why this market is actually better for buyers. I want to run through a couple quick examples with everybody so they can make sure and have perspective on how to get a property, but more importantly, how a 6.5 interest rate versus a 3.5 interest rate can actually save them money. So what I want to do is I want to rewind back to January of this year, right? So if you think about it, January had interest rates somewhere around 3.5%. That was a great thing for financing at that time. But here is the problem with low interest rates. As you all can remember, even if you were a buyer out there and you got a great deal on the interest rates, you had big time trouble getting your hands on a property. Let's use $500,000 for an example. You know, back in January or February, if you're able to secure a home loan at 3.5% or somewhere around that area, you got a house for $500,000, but you were waiving the appraisal clauses. You were paying $30,000 or $40,000 out of pocket over list price. And so, you know, you got your hands on a property. I don't know if you loved it or not, but if you got it, at least you got it. But of course, you overpaid for it out of pocket in cash. The good side about this new market, which obviously you've got to pick, old market, new market, this new market is better for buyers, and here's why. Right now, of course, yes, interest rates are somewhere around the 6.5% range, but that same $500,000 house today, you are not having to go over list price, you are not having to waive the appraisal clause, and you're not having to pay cash out of pocket on that property. So why does that matter? Well, let's look at some side-by-side numbers so you understand what the true cost is. If we take a $500,000 property back in January at a 3.5% interest rate, let's just say $500,000, 10% down, so you've got a loan of $450,000, that makes your monthly principal and interest $2,000. That's a very strong rate and a very strong payment. Problem is, if you had to come out of pocket $30,000 cash, that leaves you in the whole $30,000 for the time being. In today's market, if you buy a $500,000 house, you put 10% down at $450,000 at a 6.5% interest rate, that puts your monthly payment at $2,800. Whew, that's a lot. That's an extra $800 a month. I get it. I understand. However, look at the positive side. That $30,000 that you would have paid out of pocket back in January, you're not having to pay out of pocket now. So if you take that $30,000 that you get to save and you divide it by the $800 and the difference of the payments, that's actually going to take you 37 months to break even. That's 3.5 years. So yes, you had a cheaper rate and payment in the old market, but you're coming out of pocket a ton of money. In today's market, you're not having to come out of pocket, you're having a higher rate and payment, but you're saving that $37,000. That's again, 3.5 years it would take you to get that money back. So in today's market, it's actually smarter to buy. Second piece on that equation is, even though you're getting that property at $500,000, you as the buyer stand a real good chance of also getting some seller concessions, getting the seller to pay some closing costs. Let's just use $10,000 for an example. In the old example, if you had to come out of pocket $30,000 over list price and you had to pay the closing cost of $10,000, that's $40,000 additional cash that you, the buyer, had to come up with. In today's market, yes, you're going to take a slightly higher rate and a higher payment. We all know that's temporary because there's probably going to be a refinance boom anywhere from 12 to 24 months, but you're saving that $30,000 out of pocket. You're saving that $10,000 in closing costs. That's a $40,000 plus to you as a buyer. So I want you to know what a lot of buyers know, which is now is the smart time to buy because you're able to save on the out-of-pocket expense. You're able to get a property that you like. You're actually able to have a seller give you closing costs on the deal. So 9 months later, you're actually coming out in the positive $40,000. Now people say, well, that's great. I like the cash piece, but Brian, I don't want to be stuck with an interest rate of 6.5%. 4% with an extra $800 in payment for the rest of my life. Totally understand. Nobody keeps their mortgage forever. Even if it's a long-term play on the property, majority of clients end up refinancing in 2, 3, 4, 5 years when interest rates improve. Right now, what we're going through with these interest rates are temporary. There's been projections and articles already that interest rates could potentially drop back down to the 4.5 range in the next 12 to 18 months. So you as a buyer need to get smart and realize this market is better than the old market. We have two choices, right? Super low interest rates, no inventory, pay out of pocket, or higher interest rates, much better inventory, no out of pocket. As a buyer, I think today's market definitely has much more incentive and it's a better financial position for the buyers to be in. For those that are buying now and they're worried about the rate and the payment, just sit tight. Just sit tight, right? What goes up must come down, and there will be an opportunity for the buyers that buy right now to refinance that rate and payment, lower everything, and improve their financial position. Thirdly, what you don't want to do is you don't want to be a buyer that sits on the sideline and has concerns about interest rates and you're going to wait till next year or 18 months until interest rates drop. Why? Well, when these interest rates drop down to 4.5, all of the buyers that have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for interest rates to drop so they can afford the house and afford the payment will come off the sidelines all at one time. And the challenge, especially in Dallas, is there's still not enough inventory to go around. So when those interest rates drop and all those buyers come off the sidelines, they're going to suck up all the available inventory within 30 or 45 days, and we're going to be right back to where we were, just like we were last year, which is no inventory, multiple offers, price spikes, and buyers having to come out of pocket again with additional cash. So listen, if you're a buyer out there and you found this video useful, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. If you got anything you want to drop in the comments below, go ahead and do it. I promise to get back to you. Or if you just want to set up a consultation to talk about your financial future, the housing market, and put together a plan for you, reach out to us, email us, text us, call us. Just know we're always here for you. Until next time, stay tuned.